In my career as a vet, I've written over 40 books, almost all of them on dog and cat well-being, their health, their welfare, their training. But I've also written 2 more that were much more personal. They were travel books with my dog Macy. Macy and I spent 3 months traveling around the United States in a motorhome, from New England over to Oregon, down to Texas, through Louisiana swamps and back up. And then a few years later, Macy and I traveled through Eastern Europe. We drove over to the Finnish-Russian border, then went down through the Baltic states, through all the new countries of the EU, and then back through Western Europe. It was a wonderful time. I spent 5 months in total with just Macy, with no other people. She was my best buddy, she was my confidant, she was my fellow swimmer. We mountain climbed together, we adventured together. We shared a bed together in the motorhomes that we were traveling in North America and Europe. And when I got back to London, when Macy was 5.5 years old, I was looking forward to another 6, 7, 8 years with my dog. But it wasn't to be. Shortly after we got back, when I took Mace to Kensington Gardens for her morning walk, she didn't do her normal head over heels somersault. And I just instinctively knew something was wrong. I felt her belly and I could feel something that I couldn't identify. So I brought her back here to the vet clinic. Veronica and I scanned her and we saw things that we didn't like, and we knew that we'd have to have a look inside. And when we operated, it was horrible. We spent 2.5 hours operating, removing all sorts of things, knowing that we weren't removing everything. And after I finished, it was only then that I realized that I was behaving like her owner, not her vet. I wouldn't have done that to another dog or another cat, because doing all that meant that she might have another 2 or 3 weeks of life, but would it even be pleasant? So I kept her anesthetized, I took her home, and in front of our fireplace, with my wife Julia there, she passed away. The next day, we took her down to where we bury all of our dogs, and under her favorite bay tree, I buried her. This was the tree that she went to when it was hot and sunny. In my car, I found 11 tennis balls, and I put them in with her. It was sort of my last thank you, Macy, for what you've done to me. We live with dogs and we think they'll go on forever, but of course they don't. Pets don't just live with us. They transform us. They teach us that we can communicate without words, that we mutely understand each other, and that they share the feelings and emotions that we have. They can be our best friends. They teach us what love really is. Macy taught me that I could sit there with another being and say nothing and just love life. I remember one event in eastern Poland. Macy and I went into the woods, we found mushrooms, we collected them, we made a mushroom omelet. We survived, I'm happy to say, but that was one of the great recollections of just sharing a mushroom omelet with my dog. Macy reminded me why I had become a vet, and I still am a vet. That we enjoy each other's company, that we can live with each other in a joyful, happy, uplifting way. And even the death of a dog, as horrible as it is, doesn't mean the end of a relationship that we have with other animals. I've had the good fortune to live with dogs and cats as a child, and then when Julie and I married, we've had more dogs and cats right through our lives. Macy passed away, others have passed away. Julie and I are now both in our 80s, and I'm happy to say we have both got ourselves a new golden retriever puppy. You're never too old to have joy in your life. Our pets remind us of what unconditional love is.